This thing sets you free. It makes you feel immortal and exposes every weakness. This thing can hurt, but it teaches you how to overcome. And that's exactly why you do this thing. This thing is what makes you great. Embrace it. Believe in it. Be who you are.
Cause you woke up in the morning with initiative to move, so I make it harder. Think about it, so we can move and look smooth. The world time has come to.
Introducing the Fly Racing Light Special Edition Avenge Racewear. The light jersey has laser-cut perforations for advanced ventilation, and the Zero cuffs provide unrestricted mobility and a comfortable fit. Low-profile, streamlined taped collar, and multi-panel construction for maximum performance and comfortable fit. The BOA Fit system, located on the front of the pants, provides a lighter and faster zipperless entry with a wider range of adjustability. Four-way stretch panel construction for maximum comfort and movement. And leather heat shield panels with DuPont Kevlar stitching. Mesh panels on back of knees, hips, and lower legs. And a lightweight, minimalist design. The Light SE Avenge in black and sunset from Fly Racing.
Welcome back. Here we go, the big one, the final race for the team event, the VMXDN team event. It's Team USA leading it going into this final round, and I am honoured, privileged, as is Ben. Can't quite believe it, can we? Sat next to us in the booth is the legend, two-hip, RJ, bad to the bone, Rick Johnson. Rick, it's so cool to have you in here with us.
No, it is awesome. You know, when sitting here as a racer of the past, and now we see Villopoto going down to set his whole shot device, which not a lot of the guys have it, which is, I think, a big mistake.
But they weren't around in the 90s.
See who rolls off this first.
And they are go for the Vets Nations final race, the finale of this, and it looks like reigning champs Northern Ireland. Neville Bradshaw gets a great start on the number 2 Honda. It is the black number yellow plate with Bradshaw out front, Max Bryan second, and Pocock in third.
So a good start from Team GB, but America know they've got this nice buffer to work with, Rick, don't they?
Well,
Anderson up to third.
You got Mike Brown that's working in the top 5, so he's been solid all day long. And I got to say, I was watching Anderson in the last moto, sitting down a lot. Was he saving energy, or is he finally getting a little gassed out? Because he's been racing a lot this weekend.
No, that's Brad Anderson style. I'm telling you straight, that's how he rides.
That really is absolutely stunning. So Anderson quickly up to second place now. He's just gone past Bradshaw up Fox's Hill, and Pocock is just trying to hold off one of the DirtWorld Yamahas. I couldn't quite figure out if it was 7 or 9 as they went up the hill. We'll soon see up here. And there's a pair of them, both of them are there, and it looks like it's the number 9, Villopoto, is actually higher up. I think he's in 5th place right now, just ahead of Mike Brown.
So Anderson's gone into the lead. He's going to make a charge, try and lead from the front from Team GB.
He went to go down. He's gone down, but in front of the 2 Yamahas. What happened there? Did the Yamahas also go down? They're both through.
That was Pocock going down. I think there goes our chances, Team GB. Looking good for Team USA. If you're liking what you see, remember, like and subscribe to MXN TV. We're going to keep building this thing.
Yeah, share this race because this is action-packed stuff. Look at these beautiful
That's not
Yamahas.
Villopoto.
Oh, it's Mackenzie. Bryan Mackenzie on the 1-2-1. Team Scotland getting up there on the Yamaha. So, did one of the Yamahas for the American team go down in that incident? It was Anderson going up the back of Nev Bradshaw.
Rick, just tell us, you've raced obviously for your country many times. How different is it when you've got this team environment, team race, when you're so used to riding for yourself?
Well, and you're used to riding against your teammates and trying to take them out, trying to beat them all the time. So it's very comforting. I always loved racing with Jeff Ward, Ron Lachine, David Bailey, O'Mara, all the guys that I fought so hard to beat. But when you're in this race, you take a look around. You look and go, either, oh, shit, excuse me, uh-oh.
That's okay, that's like...
Uh-oh, they're down, they're not up here. Or I see them out front, I can relax a little bit. And we watched that in the second moto, or the first moto today. Villopoto looked over at Brown and said, come on, go.
Yeah, he did, I saw it.
I don't have anything for you. I don't want to hold you up. Go get it. And we saw that also with the British riders as well. Yeah. They're working back and forth. So I love the camaraderie of the nations.
That's the obvious difference, because I know that in a race environment with Jeff Ward, you would have never run. I hear that famous story of how you two went practicing one time up at Carlsbad and you ran the tanks dry just trying to do, and that wasn't the best race nobody ever saw.
Exactly. We were out there for 45 plus minutes until he ran out of gas and pushed his bike, and then I continued to ride. Amazing. But that's the motivation. And you look, and Anderson looks phenomenal out there as he works his way up. And I talked to him briefly, and I talked to some of the other guys as well. He's very fortunate that the 500 was first, then going to a 250, because you wring its neck a little harder. It's not as hard on your body, easier to stop, but you can also ride it more aggressively. So good job for him, and also luckily for him, it was structured that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And how it works out then, in that incident, I'm just sort of trying to decipher what actually did happen. It was Mel Pocock that ran at the back of Neville Bradshaw, fell down, and he definitely held up Villopoto, because he's dropped down to 8th place, and Pocock is 9th. Well, they just remounted ahead of Zach Osborne in 10th.
Exactly. So now that was what you were saying, is that the worst finish that America had was the 10th. Right now, that is the same thing that they have. So with an 8th and now a 4th, they are looking very strong. But you got to look up top. You got both Ireland and Great Britain. I mean, it's been a great dice back and forth, and that's why I want to say that I've created an award, and I'm giving away at the Motocross of Nations for this reason, is that the individual gold, each guy, I'm going to give him a watch.
Yeah.
That there's only going to be 3 made from Rockwell watches that I'm going to present to them as the individual goal.
That's
because
beautiful.
It's wonderful. I was lucky to be on a winning team all the time, but there's guys like Ben Townley and stuff that crushed it in France and really didn't get anything for it. So I don't want to distract too much from this, because this race is awesome as we watch Mike Brown as he works his way through. But that's something that needs to be given out as well, as that's an individual goal.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's definitely going to be worthwhile watching to see who's going to get the watch. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Look at this getting tight at the sharp end here. Anderson starting to move away a little bit, getting close to 3-second gap at the front now. Banks Brown, and that is Mike Brown going round Bryan Mackenzie into 4th place with Nev Bradshaw next on his hit list. Villopoto has also just got past Graeme Irwin in that lap, and there goes Brown, and Mackenzie is fighting back. Scottish battle goes round the outside. Fantastic work from the Scotsman, flying the flag almost single-handedly for his team, because the other riders are nowhere near it. But great stuff.
Cased it a little bit there, Ben. So I just went on air for a second because I couldn't help myself but do a bit of GoPro footage with RJ in the booth. But yeah, Bryan Mackenzie, he loves hardpack, and he absolutely loves Foxhill. Not quite gone his way this weekend. Last time out at Farley, he was on the 500kx, performed a bit better, but he's coming good as the track gets tougher.
Well, this track, like Dave Thorpe and I were talking about it, I just rode around did a parade lap, and I was like, holy man. Like every hill that you go off fades to the left. A little bit this one, a lot the next one, fades off to the right. The downhills are so steep, if you jump too far, you land in the braking bumps. So it's a very challenging course, as well as your tire. You want a hard pack tire, but you also have some very sticky stuff out in the berm. So very tricky right now.
Rick, you grew up obviously right, Southern California. Carlsbad was like rock hard, but this is kind of different. I know you only rode around it on a parade lap, but it's obviously Carlsbad was rock hard, but this has got more kind of chalk and rock in it.
Yeah, and the berms are a little stickier. You know, Carlsbad was more consistent clay. This has got that shale and the looseness, but I think California riders would have loved this.
Yeah.
Like this style. Now,
Yeah.
obviously they didn't love it as much when they came here in '98 when Stephen Everett rode around everybody. That's a different kind of Foxhill, but this hard pack with the slick California guys, that's what we practiced on all the time in the 80s.
I mean, as soon as you get water on this, and we can see it straight away, as soon as the sprinklers come on, it just changes colour. It just goes black, and it sticks like nothing else. And that's why that 98 Nations was so difficult. It's, I mean, well, talk about American success. That 1992 Grand Prix, the first Grand Prix here, 1, 2, 3 USA, more Schmidt and Parker. So, yeah, definitely the Californian dirt experience paying off there.
Well, and that's the way the tracks used to be. Now they do so much with the watering and the prepping and the bringing in the different soils and stuff like that. Like Hangtown was very similar to this dirt, but it's not anymore. They brought in sawdust, they brought in sand, so they've got it a lot more rider friendly, you might say, but it does get bigger bumps.
Yes, for sure, and more ruts, of course, as well, especially with the 4 strokes and the deeper, the more traction there.
Well, and that's where, talking to Gordon Crockard, he's saying, you know, he doesn't ride that much. Then you come in on 2 strokes, so now you got the performance and the hit of a carbureted motorcycle, a 2-stroke that hits hard at one point or another, depending on how you have it set up. And then you have this ground, which is sketchy and square edged and stuff like that. So arm pump is at a premium right now. It is going out the door. Everyone's got it, except Anderson. That guy is an animal right now. He is crushing it. As you can see, he's got a 4-second lead.
I am so glad that Rick Johnson has picked up on the fact that Brad Anderson is an animal. We call him like he's our British bulldog. I mean, he just never surrenders.
And he's got one. He's actually got a bulldog as well,
he does.
which is the best.
I thought it was dead. It's huge with some really bad teeth. It needs an orthodontist.
I can tell you're from California.
Yes, exactly.
British teeth ain't great.
No, especially in that dog. That dog is a champion when it comes to that. But Brad, he just goes and goes and goes. And as I said, I was watching that race. I thought, well, maybe he's getting a little tired. Nope. He looks like he's right on par. And then also, he's just rode this track. He went inside, outside. He was trying a lot of different stuff, so that's definitely helping him out.
Yeah, stunning stuff. And in case you're wondering, guys, about the points here, it's the penultimate lap of this Vets Nations. It's flying by as it is here in the booth. In case you were wondering there, the USA had a good, solid lead over Team GB, about 20 points if you count all the scores. But even with 1 score drop, they still had a healthy advantage. As it stands right now, the Brits are running first, 8th, and for Kurt Nicoll 17th. So that's not a great score, especially against the American score, showing up as 5th, 7th and 10th. Doesn't sound brilliant, but it's at the moment better than Team GB.
Even I, with my very poor mathematics, know that Team USA are very much in the driving seat for the overall team win here.
Well, that's where I think you're going to... We talk about this. I wasn't with these guys, but I know going into the last round what we need to do. In 1987, it was Jeff Ward and I. We said one of us has to win the overall. Like, one of us has to beat everybody. We came around the first corner, and luckily, me being 185 pounds, I still came out like 5th place in the mud at Unadilla. I looked over at Jeff Ward. I said, "Go get him," and he looked at me and said, "Go get him." So then I went after Kees Vanderven, roughed him up a little bit, roosted his goggles a bunch of times, slowed down, got his goggles to come off, and then I took off. And so we won.
Oh, what a great insight. What a great story. Roughing up a bit. I like that.
I'm glad it's on record. I've been watching that back for my next article. Right, yeah, I'll make sure of that one for sure. Great stuff. In fact, it looks like, and I'm going to just have to be checking this out, guys, so I'm going to go briefly quiet after saying this, but the Irish could well nick 2nd overall from the Brits, because they're currently running 3rd, 9th and 11th. That's probably about the best combined team score right now in this race. So it's going to be very close, because they were a point apart going on pure totals. So it just depends on which one they can drop. To be fair, Northern Ireland are probably going to have one of the best totals of all of them, because they've got very few bad scores to drop. So we'll see how they work out from there. But there's no doubt about this race winner here, Mr. Johnson. 3 seconds. Absolutely incredible.
Well, and he's lost a little bit, but you don't really see. I think he's just holding that position, because he's in great shape, but he is still putting up with pain.
Yeah.
You know, he's been out here both days running all these motos, and he just got off the 500. So now it's like, okay, can I just get out in front and relax a little bit? And then he's got Banks Brownie, pushing him a little bit. Like, okay, would you back off? I'm not going to let you catch me. Like it was like Johnny O'Mara chasing me with a 125.
This is
like,
it.
You're fast, but I'm not going to let you beat me. I'm not going to let 125 beat me. No.
I mean, you got to say, for everybody, this is lap 5. For Brad, this is effectively lap 11 because he did 6 in the previous race, which is a lap too long, and now he's hammering this one out. I mean, what a rider!
He'd go all day. You know what he's like. He literally is an animal.
Did he just punch the air then?
Yeah, he did.
He did. He's feeling it. I mean, it's that. It's goosebumping me again. I haven't heard this sound for like 20 years in this valley. It's incredible, the sound coming up from here.
For Brad at this point, he probably knows that, the second is the best we're going to get.
But from freestyle.
An individual rider performance, he's going to lap this up.
That's what I'm saying. So he should get an award for his individual efforts. And now we see the checkered flag coming. Unbelievable job for Brad Anderson.
We could set that up, the Rick Johnson Individual Rider of the Day Award. We can do that.
There we go. And there's your winner.
Yeah, there he is over the line. It's not going to be enough, like we said, for the Team GB race win, but 2 Brits out front. But Bradshaw's going to come in second. Let's bring it the American riders. There's RV, and following Mike Brown taking a look over his shoulder and seeing an eyeful there of rider number 3 behind him, Graeme, Irwin, GI. But they're safely in. It's basically as soon as Zach Osborne gets in, that is absolute confirmation that they will win this thing, Team USA.
There he is.
There he is on that incredible-looking Husqvarna machine.
And Gordy's looking like he's going to make a move on him. Let's see if he passes him.
Not quite inside.
Close, very close.
He probably covered the inside. Just to let you know, by the way, the podium presentation won't be going out live on stream, but what we're going to do is we're going to record that and we're going to post that out later tonight, basically because of the technicality of getting the cameras over there, getting it all set up. So later on this evening, come back onto MXN TV, like and subscribe, and you'll be able to see the podium presentations later on.
Yep, so just before we go to an advert break there, the overall scores all Team GB can do is wipe their brow. They did not quite get beaten by Northern Ireland. It was close. It got to about a 4-point margin in the end. They actually finished on the same final score, but because we could drop a 17th place compared to Ireland only having to drop a 13th place, amazingly, that's worked out in Team GB's favour. So Team USA, undoubtedly, Rick, I'm sure you'll be glad to hear this.
Yes.
They're the overall winners. So it's just your presence has done it again, and they are there as the overall winners, as they were the favourites, and thoroughly deserved. And to be fair, it probably wasn't as easy as they would have thought it would be.
Absolutely not.
No.
I'm sure about that.
No. The way the first 2 rounds went yesterday, it was anybody's race. We saw guys up front. We saw Gordon Crockard in last work his way up to 12th. I mean, that was unbelievable. Then what's funny is that I talked to him this morning. He gets a good start, and then he got arm pumped because he was thinking too much about it. But that's the thing. You're riding old bikes that they're not easy to ride.
No,
they're
really not.
The 2 strokes are difficult, especially when now if you go practice, you go ride a fuel injected 450 or 250F. These are much more difficult to ride.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, Rick, it's been such a pleasure and an honour having you in the booth. Maybe you'll stick around. We maybe finish off the show with you. A quick picture for us. Ben can't help himself on his social, and I don't blame you for that. Actually,
I'm not a selfie stalker or autograph hunter, but I'm sorry. We're all wearing headsets, and that's how it is.
And he had his hand on my leg, by the way, when he took the
picture. You noticed?
Did you feel the tension as we were getting?
I felt it. I got a little nervous.
Don't move.
Stay right there. But honestly, I'm